Hello, everybody. My name is Rhoda Aglago. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited about today's topic. Go grab a pen and a paper or a notebook. We've got a lot to cover today, and I'm going to give you two types of thinking that you should be concerned about or aware of. I'm excited about today's topic. All right, let's dive in, people. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, good evening, good night, and of course, if you're just waking up and it's in the middle of the night for you, welcome. Today's topic is exciting because it's two types of thinking that I think we need to become aware of. And so that's what I'll be discussing today. But before I go on, let me give you the address, or meaning the email address. So if you want to contact me or our IT director, whoever, and you want to communicate something to us, the email address is love, LUV, the number 4, give, GIVE, live, LIVE, at gmail.com. Thank you again for joining me today. It's pretty awesome. I'm always excited, but today's one I'm more excited about it because it's a sense of clarity that I'm hoping to give to you all to understand your own thought process. Because I believe once you understand the thought process that you work with and in a day-to-day basis, will help you distinguish the difference between which one you're under. A negative self-talk or a love self-talk. Which one are you processing constantly? Because the record that's playing in your head determines your reality. So once you know it, you have the strength, the ability to change it. And I'll read a quote to you today. That's my quote for today, and I'm going to share it with you. And it starts like this. And this is from my favorite book. Like, I have been doing A Course in Miracles for almost a year and a half or 2 years now. And it's amazing. If you had to ask anyone in this world if we need a manual for life, for living, 2 books I would recommend. Number 1, the Bible. And number 2, A Course in Miracles. Number 3 might be the Tao Te Ching. I read that. And it's pretty similar to the Bible in terms of the teaching, the philosophies. But take it with a grain of salt. Go check them out yourself. But anyways, so today's quote is this. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And it goes like this. It has 2 points, but one of them is like this. Loss is not loss. Once again, loss is not loss when properly received or perceived. Pain is impossible. There's no grief with any cause at all. And suffering of any kind is nothing but a dream. This is the truth. At first, to be, but said, and then repeated many times. And next, to be accepted as but partly true, with many reservations, then to be considered seriously more and more, and finally accepted as the truth. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt, and I would go beyond these words today and pass all reservations and arrive at full acceptance of the truth in them. What you have given, this is asking the universe, what you have given, so grief and pain must be impossible. Let me not fail to trust in you today, accepting but the joyous as your gifts, accepting but the joyous as the truth. You see, my brothers and sisters, this topic makes me very excited because, like I said, once you know which thought process you're operating, you can elect to change that hurt mentality, that hate mentality, that defeatist mentality into a place of joy, gift, where pain has no place in you. I hope I'm making sense. I do drink some water to make sure my throat is clear so I can speak. When you feel like you are under constant attack in your daily activities, your day-to-day run of everything you do, when that feeling arises, or when you look around you and you see things happening in your life, understand this. You have to set up a context and picture this. What I'm talking about is this. For example, you get up in the morning, you thought the day would be great, get ready for work, you're driving and you get stuck, your car gets stuck on the highway. Meanwhile, your car was fixed 2 weeks ago and you were told the car has no problems and everything will be fine. Excuse me. Everything was going great, so you thought. Then the car got stuck. Then you're like, man, how am I going to figure out my way to get to work? You get to work and the boss wants to see you because there's something that you've done wrong a couple of days ago that you thought was okay. Now it's a problem. They want to talk to you about it. So now you're under review. You might get fired. You're all worried. You get home after such a busy and stressful day. You finally get home thinking, great, it's a great day. You figure out, your hot water tank in the basement is flooding the basement because it burst open. Yeah, a day like that, you would feel like you're being attacked by everything bad. And you get angry. First of all, I want you to understand this. You're not being attacked. For love cannot be attacked because you are love. Love resides in you. You were created out of love, and it resides in you. And love cannot be attacked. I know some of you are shaking your head. It's like, what on earth is this woman talking about? She's off her rockers. I'm not. Give me a chance. Allow me to explain, please. One, there's 2 points I'm going to give you. Number one, when you think from a place of love, which is a place of peace, joy, understanding, is number one. Versus number two, thinking from a place of hate, hurt, anger, blame, self-loathing. Now, I'll reiterate on each point, okay? So, what I mean by when you're thinking from a place of love, a place of love means this: self-love, positive thinking, always believing in possibilities, growth, evolving, and hope. Hope becomes faith. When you process things that are happening in your life from that place, you would never believe or think of being defeated. It doesn't happen. You will see everything that happens to you as not an attack, but only something that gives you hope. And you recognize that is a process to growth, a process to a higher level of thinking, a process of an elevated state of existence. Some may call it higher vibration. Some may call it your higher self. You choose which words you want to use to describe that. Because understand this: the universe, the creator, the source, is always motivated by love, because it is love. It never think of limits. It never allow itself to be limited. Neither should you, because it resides within you and you in that. So understanding is very important. So when you begin to claim words, when you use the word, I am attacked, you are claiming that is the same state as the source, as the universe. So you're claiming that's you and the source. It's a very complex thinking when you think about it. But once you allow yourself to grow with this thought process, you begin to free yourself. Now, the second point, the second thought process, which I mentioned before, was thinking from a place of hate. And I'll explain that. Looking from a place of hate would always be painful. It thinks of limits, lack, self-hate, negative self-talk, and always asking the question, why me? And I'll explain more about this. This state of being, or this state of thinking, will look up for evidence that validates the self-hate, the self-loathing, the negative self-talk, and perpetuates that. And the question, why me, becomes, what did I do to deserve this? Why is everything coming at me? It's never from a place of strength, but it does provide evidence to strengthen the lie of the self-hate. When you see yourself or view yourself at this part from this perspective, you will be seeking more of the negative talks, the limitations, the fear, the anxiety, the lack as a way of living, because you will seek evidence to perpetuate that for you, to make it true when it's not. Excuse me. Now, the next question is this. With these two opposing views, from a place of love or a place of negative self-talk, what do you do when you find yourself thinking this way, from a place of hate or limits or negativity or anger, fear, anxiety? Always there are things you can do to allow yourself not to think that way. First, sit down and figure out where you are, and then where you are will tell you what work you need to do on yourself. If you're thinking from a place of lack, the negative self-talk, or the place of hate, you have to do something. You have to begin to understand what is it that you're gaining from this to allow you to keep doing this. And if so, ask yourself this. Are you willing and ready to change this? And this change will only come when you are ready and notice, or at least are becoming aware of the fact that you are getting tired of the negative self-talk, of the hate and the anger. The truth of the matter is that when you operate from a place of self-hate, the negative self-talk, self-loathing, and self-doubt, and lack, and fear, and the anxiety, it's exhausting. I mean, seriously, it's exhausting. It is extremely exhausting. And most of the time, you honestly feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And sometimes you feel like you can't breathe. It can be that difficult. Remember this. You can change it. And the change is not going to come from outside. It's going to come from within you, because that's where the question and the answers lie. You see, the negative self-talk is not from outside. It's from you. The mindset. So it's the same place you need to go back in, within, into your mindset, to start to correct that. And when you do, ask yourself, are you willing to take this and grow with it and go through the pressure of life, the pressure of the stuff that are coming with you? Because you might see it as an attack and all this because you're thinking from a place of hate and negative self-talk, but understand this, is building you up. It's building you up to become a stronger being. It's building you up to become a person that can recognize your strength and run with it. And through that, you can become better at what you do, better at doing you, better at standing up for you. And as you do, your tribe begins to recognize that and begin to galvanize towards you, and you stand taller, stronger, and more confident. Like I said, to change this negative thought process, you would have to become so exhausted and understand that what you have been processing yourself to believe within yourself would only pull you down. And when you recognize the pull down, it's something you no longer want. You no longer want to be a part of. And you have realized that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You are done. And you need a new story, a new beginning. That's when you can begin to start to change, to choose, to operate under love, the love that you speak within you to strengthen you. Understand this. Gold does not become gold when you pick it up from its mining state. It's dirty. It's got a lot of dirt on it. You would have to do a lot of work to wash it. And after washing it, you might get a little sparkle, but not much. But it'll have to be pressed, beaten, and put through the fire before it becomes this precious metal. Beautiful, precious metal. That's the life. You have gold within you. But the stuff that are coming with you, recognize that as a way of building and crushing the dirt and washing it off, cleaning it, burning, and making that beautiful gold sculpture, gold ring, gold jewelry, whatever it is that you may choose. You may choose. The second one is pick a diamond. When you pick a diamond, it's dirty. Coal, before coal can become diamond, it has to go through a lot of pressure. I mean, unbelievable amount of pressure. Well, that's the pressure you're going through. It's not an attack. When you operate from a place of love and speak that within you, you will see what it is as pressure to bring the diamond out. And with that diamond, a little sparkle of light, it shines so bright. That's the pressing. So every time things are going on, look at yourself and ask yourself these questions. Which thought process am I operating with? That will give you a clue. That will give you a clue into yourself, into how you relate to others, and how you make life make sense for you. Because once this makes sense, it frees you for one thing, and it gives you an ability to be present for the process. You're no longer standing in your own way and sabotaging yourself with a negative self-talk, with a negative outlook. Because with that lens, you're going to create the reality. So why not choose the lens that will create the reality that you can grow with? This strange thing about all this is this. A lot of time, humanity would change, but before that change comes, it takes a lot of pressure. That's the thing. But then it's strange that when you're in the pressure, you begin to complain and call it attack. Then how would you be able to recognize it as pressure? Unless you begin to see yourself from a place of that positive thinking, the place of love. because that sense of love within you that you speak over yourself is what will give you the drive to keep going. And once you recognize that you're ready for change, you're ready to grow, you're ready to accept something different. Here's the thing. If you are ready, you will be open to the pressures that come at you and the work you need to do to allow yourself to be present for the growth. I'm not saying it's easy. It's extremely difficult. Once you recognize the thought process that you've been operating with and with the lens you've been looking at the world with is from a place of hate and hate or negative self-talk constantly within yourself. Once you recognize it, it doesn't just make it automatic. You automatically decide, oh, great, now I want to change. Like I said, it's the amount of irritation it causes you. Because if you're not irritated by yourself as to how you speak down to yourself, you will not change that. Until you recognize, like I said, when you become sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you really have a strong desire from within to want to change that, and you seek that, then you would want, because one of the other things that we sometimes do in strategic therapy is this. You get push and push and push towards the things you don't want, because more and more pressure comes against that. And then after a while, you decide, you know what, I'm giving it up. I don't want to do this anymore. Sometimes we call it flooding. Flood you with the thing that you don't want, but you keep doing it. Flood you with it. And after a while, you'll be like, no, I'm no more. I'm no longer going to subject myself to this, and I choose differently. That's where change happens. It's the same way with this. Allow yourself to go through the process to stand and make a different choice. Choose to change the thoughts of hurt and hate in you. Because once you do that, you have a totally different outlook on life. You become one who sees no limits. You become one who sees possibilities, joy, peace, understanding, and knowledge becomes so much more easier for you to even recognize that is happening. You begin to see that you are evolving as a being and not stagnant. You begin to see that the world does not hate you. No, not at all. Rather, excuse me, you are ready for the process and grow with it. And this is what I'm going to encourage you to do. Now you know the difference of thinking in negative self-talk, the hate, the limit, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, the constant on edge thinking and feeling is coming from a place of hate. Then a place of love. How does that look like? That positive sense of self. Speaking positively about yourself and your experiences. And let it roll off you. Yes, some of the bad will happen, but when it happens, don't sit in it. Let it roll off you. Nobody says life is going to be perfect and you'll never have to deal with anything that's uncomfortable. Come on now. This is planet Earth, the hard knock school. You may not like what the assignments that are coming at you, but you have to deal with them in order to graduate. So be present for it and call it for what it is. It's the process. Trust it. Surrender to it. Be hopeful for what it's going to do within you. Be hopeful for how you're going to evolve to become the being that you're meant to be. This is life after all. It's exciting. So here's what I'm going to encourage you. Take the time. If you want to change, you don't even know. Let me go this way. You don't even know which thought process you're operating at. Take a pen and paper or get yourself a journal. And then write down the record that's playing in your head, the words. What are the songs that are playing in your head? Write the words down. Be brutally honest with yourself. Don't hold back. Be as brutal as you can be. Write them down. Be consistent. Prove it to yourself. Write it. It's between you and the Creator. You can choose not to share the writing with anybody but you, because you're going to have to be very vulnerable on paper. Read it to yourself. Close it. Go back again and read it. You'll be amazed how much you find out about yourself, the truth of who you really are, and what are you saying to yourself in your head. Once you recognize that, and you see the honesty, now figure out for yourself if your thoughts stem from hate or a place of love. That's important. Once you do that and know where you're operating, go to work. Go to work by doing what you can. If it's coming from a place of hate, doing what you can. Give yourself the permission. Trust yourself to go through the process of changing that. I understand this. Operating from a place of love and positive self-talk and then thinking of unlimited potentials, it does something to you. It empowers you. It literally gives you wings. It gives you some amazing abilities for you to believe the most incredible things in your life. And then you can work towards that, walk towards it. But if you're operating from a place of lack, hate, negative self-talk, then you know what to do too. It's going to take baby steps, but I'll give you a warning. Reverting back to that negative self-talk, because you've been doing it for so long and it's a habit that you've learned and adapted to for so long, it's not going to take overnight. Sometimes it may take a year or more. It may be a lifetime of constantly working on it, because you learned it for a long time to do this to yourself. Now is the time to undo it and begin what you need to do to evolve. And to do so, you have to start changing things that hurt, the thoughts that hurt and recognize it and accept it as a gift and truth. Because it's only through that you will find your victory. It is only through that you will find your joy. It is only through that you would find your voice. And your voice allows you to speak firmly, directly, and to stand strong. Negative self-talk in this place of hate will squash you. It will squash you and keep you from ever getting ahead. So do me the favor, I dare you, write down what thought process you're operating with. Pay attention and ask yourself, can I evolve from here? Is it possible for me to grow? You should have a pretty clear answer. If the answer shocks you, then you know which direction to move. But if it doesn't surprise you or shock you, then that means you're not ready. And not being ready is okay. Everyone is in a journey, and it takes time for people to come to a place of understanding that they have the potential and the strength and the power to change. The change can only come from within. Remember, there was an episode I spoke about what you say about yourself in your head has more impact and power than what anybody can tell you from the outside. People can call you all kinds of names. But if you go in your head, chances are you called your name worse. You've called yourself worse names than what people are calling you. We are our own worst critics. We put ourselves down. And it's quick to get there. And criticize ourselves more harsher than anybody could ever will. So in order to change it, it's not going to be easy. But I encourage you to do the homework. Write it down. Look it over. And when you're done and you really want the change and you try to find resources and you're not able to make a big impact on yourself to begin the work of evolving, then I encourage you to seek help. You see, therapists, coaches are always there to help you. But I promise you, we don't go around soliciting people to help, because we know that it has to come from within and a will to want to change. That's why we don't go soliciting people. You have to make a choice and take a stand and promise to yourself that you want to change before you go in there. That helps you gain access into yourself faster, better, and more efficient. Don't allow yourself to pull yourself down and prevent you from succeeding, because being afraid of the success is not coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of limitation, self-loathing, and hate. My brothers and sisters, I hope today was helpful, because this gives me something to look forward to every day, knowing that my brothers and sisters out there are working on themselves to seek what they need, to tap into themselves and see the beauty that they can come up with within their lifetime. Because what thoughts you're holding, are you giving room to roam in your head, is what will determine your reality. So Become mindful of it. Know it. See it. Understand where it's coming from. And face it head on. There's no fear. There is no fear because that fear is an illusion. It cannot hurt you. It can only delude you by telling you something is there when it's not. Take the time to think about this. Process it. Replay this if you like. Over and over until you get the point as to what you need to do. And I'll give you this quote again. I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. I can elect to change all thought that hurt. Because once you choose to change the thoughts that hurt, it's freedom. That's how you begin to see the gifts. That's how you begin to see the truth, which is always going to come from a place of love and joy. I really appreciate those of you who listened and stayed through the whole thing. Understand this. The best of you is yet to come. And I'm rooting for you even though I don't know who you are. But I'm rooting for you to win. I want nothing better than to hear another brother or sister has won. Is doing better than they thought, is standing stronger than they thought, and is finding joy in the midst of what may seem to others as chaos. But the sister or the brother is seeing it as joy because they know it's a pressing that's going to give them something beautiful as a diamond within themselves so they can shine and do the work they came here to do and become that true, glorious being. My name is Rhoda Aglago. Thank you for listening to Love, Forgive, Live podcast. I'm glad this topic was discussed today. I hope it helps you. If it did, let me know. Once again, the email address is love, LUV, the number 4, give, GIVE, live, LIV as in Victor, E, at gmail.com. Thank you again for joining me. Those who listen on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And those who are listening through Spotify, thank you. Like us, follow us on Twitter. And we also on TikTok. I try to post things here and there on there, but I stopped for a while because I have to concentrate on this and in the live stream. I will be doing a live stream on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, the day after Monday. Don't forget to join us, and that's also Love, Forgive, Live. Thank you again. Have an amazing week. Love you all, and hope you discover something beautiful about yourself. Bye.